think our pony is trying to colic. So I'm trying to find his halter because I can't figure out where I put that. I'm gonna give him some of this. Okay, well, I'm gonna run out of space on my phone here, but he's rolled twice. He's acting like he's very uncomfortable. So when I came out to feed, I saw him roll twice, and then he was not interested in eating. He's just throwing his head around. See if we can catch it when he tries to go down again, but he's been switching his tail like crazy. His ears are kind of pinned like something's on his back, but other than just some hay and dirt, he doesn't have anything on his back. It's just kind of out of sorts. For those of you who are not aware of what colic is essentially like varying degrees of a stomach ache in horses. It can be a severe impaction, so like a blockage in their intestines where they can't pass bowel movements anymore. It could just be that their stomach itself is a little bit upset, like sometimes if we get a stomach burn or stomach ache, that sort of thing. There's so many different types of colic. There can be gas colic, sand colic. Basically, I'm just treating him for a stomach ache. It looks like he's uncomfortable, and so I'm going to give him something that will hopefully make him feel a little bit better. So we'll give him some time. Hopefully I caught it early enough that the paste can do its thing, and like he's not interested in eating, but I'll make sure that he gets locked away so that he can't eat anymore, and then we'll just hopefully get his system flushed out, and he should be fine. But you just really never know. With colic, they can go downhill really fast, or they can be totally fine in the matter of like a few hours. Movement is key with these guys, as well as hydration, taking their feet away, trying to keep them up and moving. So because the Breeze and Ladybug are eating on hay right now, I'm just locking them in here so I can just quickly go do another thing, and then I'll come back to check on him. I wouldn't say he's in bad shape. We had a horse, actually a different pony, colic over the winter time, and he was in way worse shape, and we just home treated him for 48 hours and he ended up coming out of it, but it was pretty touch and go for him for quite a while. But this guy, Charlie, looks like he's uncomfortable. He's definitely got a tummy ache, but he's not in like really bad shape right now. So hopefully that 911 paste will act fast and get his guts back working properly. Alright, well, I had to do some school with my kiddos, and just gonna come back out and check on Sir Charlie. And this is why I'm not like super worried, because he's still up. He's not rolling nonstop, kicking at his belly. I think he just had a gut ache, and hopefully that paste will fix it up. Look at you. You laid down in a pile of poop. You're so dirty. You're so dirty. But in my opinion, your best bet is to act quickly, whether that's by giving them some probiotic right away, or giving them some colic ease or 911 paste or something like that. As far as I'm aware, it's not going to do any harm if they're not colicking. But if they are entering a colic episode, it's only going to help. So his nostrils are a little bit flared like this, where they're just a little bit more on the pinch side. His face is telling me, hey, I'm not feeling the greatest, but I'm not doing too horrible either. So we will do just that. We'll just keep an eye on him. He doesn't have any feed right now. He's just got water, and I will top it up just to make sure that he isn't going to get picky about it. I'll actually just dump it out and put some completely fresh stuff in there. That way he can have lots of clean, fresh water to drink. If it were winter, I'd be giving him warm water, maybe even with some electrolytes. It's not hot and it's not cold. It's just perfect temperature today. So, aren't you just being so needy? Aren't you being so needy? I feel like her whole temperament has changed the last couple weeks. Actually, probably on the last week since she's been, out in the wide open spaces here. Not fully, but in this wooden corral. She's seeking attention. She doesn't mind if her head is being scratched, touching her ears. That's been a huge, huge improvement for her. Just coming right beside you for some scratches and attention is really what we're excited to see. Hey, girl. You find a scratchy spot? Oof. Itchy, itchy, itchy. Itchy, itchy, itchy. Hey, girly, looks like we gotta retape your legs, too. Nora, come out of there. Thank you. Anyway, I took out their grain bin, whatnot. Aw, Ladybug's figuring out the automatic waterer. Oh, quit yelling at me. Is that good? Yeah, is that good? It's gonna be so handy having this for winter. I don't have to haul water out here anymore. Hey? You're such a goose. Hey. Like, what are you doing? Oh, you find an itchy spot? You find an itchy spot? Yeah. Itchy spot? Some of this demeanor change might be from Miss Mama Breeze right here. Are you really gonna be a stinker with your face? You don't gotta be a stinker with your face. Hey, are you teaching her how to be a good girl? Hey, don't eat my arm. So, it really helps when you've got a horse with a calm demeanor around. Hey, some good munchies. Hey, monkey. Here, let's try to show you her legs. She keeps trying to come towards me though. Yeah, your cute little button nose. Oh, you being silly. Hey, baby. I do have to retape them again, but her legs are definitely not worse, which is what I was unsure about when I let her come loose in here. Good girl. Hi. You're so funny. So as you can see, they're still not perfect, but like she kind of has a bit of a twist to her leg. I'm not sure how perfectly straight she'll end up, but because she's not even 3 months old yet, she's could still be taped for a while just to support her as she grows, and hopefully she will completely straighten out, but we'll just keep doing what we can. Hey honey. She definitely doesn't have the best feet. I think that could be just mineral deficiencies, probably when her mama was pregnant with her, just the lack of proper prenatal care. But again, hopefully she will just continue to straighten up. So, hey, are your little feet gonna just be so straight? She's gonna be so straight. Yeah. She's such a floppy lips. Such floppy lips. I honestly think a big part of the problem with Charlie is either one, somehow he got into Ladybug's grain, but I highly doubt that, just for the way that I had things set up before. Number two is they're getting a fairly, like, it's not, I wouldn't say super rich, but it is an alfalfa hay, and some horses, can you not? I'm trying to turn on my water faucet and I've got to fight all the goats for it. Getting in here. They're getting an alfalfa hay, which is, I think, probably too rich for him, just because he's not a brood mare. He's a gelding, obviously. So he's not like Breeze, where she's trying to get some body condition back on. She's been burning a lot of fat and carbs and proteins and all that. He's just existing, really, so he doesn't need that rich of feed. And then same with Ladybug, she's growing fairly quickly. No, I'm not saying I should be feeding them a rich alfalfa hay, because that's not good for anybody, but especially for him, he's probably responding to it poorly, as well as I've been feeding them extra in that pen because of Ladybug and Breeze being in there, and he probably just ate too much. Ponies can be notorious for overeating, which is why, honestly, I just don't really like ponies in general. Charlie is pretty much back to his usual sassy self. He's so I gave Breeze some of the same grain that I've been giving Ladybug, and I let him out of the pen, put Lady back in where Charlie had been, just so she could enjoy her grain without having to fight for it, and kicked Charlie out. Just turning off my water. And Charlie decided to get all sassy pants with Breeze and tried to basically beat her off of the grain. And so I held the pan for Breeze while she ate it, just to make sure she was the one getting the grain and not Chunky Chip Charlie, because he doesn't need an ounce. He does not need a mouthful of grain, especially that grain is very, very potent, if you will. It's meant for growing foals and lactating mares, so Charlie does not need any of that. However, I did fill that up with clean water anyways, and Miss Ladybug is all on her lonesome, eating some grain so nobody beats her up for it. I did tie this rope up to keep this panel a certain distance so that Breeze can't fit in there and Charlie can't fit in there. I know it's not perfect, but it's what we got going on right now. Hey Breeze, at least you got your grain, right? It's a good girl. Mr. Charlie, back to snitching food, so that tells me that your tummy must be feeling a little bit better. Well, don't give me the wide eyes like that. I haven't really shown you guys all of his sides yet. I may just have to do a whole video on his shenanigans so you can see what the baseline is of what we were starting with. Yeah. He's cute, but he's trouble. So that's where it sits right now. That's about all you need to know, is that I think he's gonna be just fine. I just gave him some paste, mostly out of an abundance of caution, which reminds me I should probably grab it. It can't be that bad because my dog was trying to eat it. So that tells me that there's probably some very delicious herbs and things that she felt the need to clean up the outside of it. So 911 emergency crisis care paste. It basically says it's your frontline defense before getting professional help if it's needed, like vet care. I did not see a need to call the vet because it wasn't severe. Like, some people just notice the slightest thing wrong with their animal and they're calling the vet. Oh my goodness, why is he rolling on the ground? All he was doing was laying down. He wasn't even severely rolling, which is why I acted. I gave him about 3/4 of a tube of this and figured I would just wait, because just like you or I, sometimes we get stomach aches and all we need to do is drink a couple glasses of water maybe, or sip something fizzy. Sometimes you just need to take an antacid. Sometimes you need to, for myself anyways, if I'm, especially at night, if I'm like dealing with some stomach troubles, I honestly will take some probiotics before I go to bed, and like 9 times out of 10 that solves my problem. Don't ask me why it works, but all that influx of good bacteria apparently works for me. So just like humans, we're not going to call a doctor every single time we get a stomach ache. With horses, it can be severe, but that is why it is our job as horse owners to gauge how severe is this specific situation. Having gone through 2 different horses with colic, I now am more aware of the signs and what to look for. And I knew right away, I was like, hey, he looks uncomfortable, something's off. I'm going to act now when the symptoms are not severe, but I can tell something's off, versus waiting for those symptoms to escalate and then be dealing with a severe impaction or some big issue. So because Breeze and Ladybug ate up all the hay, Ladybug got some grain, Breeze got some grain, I'm not going to feed them any more hay until tonight. And then I probably will separate Charlie so that he only gets a little bit of hay, and I'll even shake it out so he doesn't get all the alfalfa fines that are in there, just to go light and easy on his stomach for tonight and tomorrow, just to make sure that whatever was causing that stomach upset really flushes out of his system. So again, key, having lots of hydration. And I'm not saying that I'm some expert. I've only gone through it twice. The one was a severe colic that we treated at home successfully. The other one was actually with my mare Breeze when her full jitterbug was only a few weeks old. Same thing, gave her some paste as soon as I started noticing some issues, and I walked her, and I walked her, and I walked her. I took all of her feed away for like 18 hours, which is rough because she was also nursing at the time, but I was like, either I end up with a dead mare on my hands, or her milk production goes down for a couple days and she comes out of it because of the lack of feed. And so her case was just not having enough room to walk around. She was in a pen smaller than half of that wooden corral. And so knowing that, we made some changes. She needs more physical movement to keep her gut happy and moving. She actually almost colicked on me twice. Both times I gave her paste. I think 1 or 2 of the times I actually gave her Bandaging, which is like, Bute, it's a pain meds. And just to keep her comfortable, just to keep her from rolling around, twisting her guts. And she came out of it totally fine. Treat them at home. Some cases, you got to take them to the vet. But for us, we really, really weigh that option quite heavily, depending on who is colicking. It sounds really maybe brutal for some people to hear, but it honestly comes down to the value of the animal itself, the value of the horse itself. And so, for example, if Breeze had gotten severely colicky, I had to weigh the risk and go, she's got a foal that's nursing. Is it worth it to take her to the vet for intravenous fluids just to help her be super hydrated? So hopefully if there is a small impaction, it will just flush out of her system. We are so rural here that they will not do colic surgeries here. So that's not even an option, which is why I opt for treating them at home in the early stages of colic. I have never taken a horse to the vet for colic. My husband has when he was growing up, and the animal ended up dying, and they were stuck with this massive vet bill. So as owners, we don't take those decisions lightly. We really have to think about the pros and the cons, the value of the animal. Yes, we as owners should be prepared to financially fund a vet bill, but at the end of the day, you have to actually look at each individual situation and go, can I afford to take this animal to the vet and have them die on me and be saddled with that vet bill? And so all of those things are considered. Again, with Charlie, this is not a serious colic episode. I really am hoping that nobody misunderstands my intention behind what I'm saying. Obviously, we care deeply about our animals, but like many, many other people, there is a budget when it comes to vet care. And that is why we seriously weigh the risk and the benefits and the situation, and then decide whether or not we're going to take a horse to the vet. With something that can be fixed at the vet, we would do it. We would just take them there. Like, say, if for some reason a horse had a laceration on its face and it needed to be stitched closed, yes, that would be a situation where you would just take them to the vet because it is a fixable option and you're risking infection if you don't get it dealt with. So it is the next day with Charlie, Breeze, Charlie Goose, and he looks like he's totally fine. His appetite came back. He's not looking uncomfortable. His nose doesn't look quite as pinched. Hey? What's going on? You just want all the attention? Of course you do. So that's good. He looks fine. Hey? Goodness. She's got me all freaked out. Are you okay? Are you having a carcass nap? 'Cause you had me thinking that you were a carcass. Hey? Are you okay? Are you just snoozing in the sunshine? You're all nice and warm. Can you get up? Hey? What are you doing? You're so snoozy. Oh. There we go. Good girl. Okay. We're okay. Goodness, when you're laying down like that, it freaks me out. You look like you were just being cozy, but ay ay ay. Yeah. Crazy girl. Why don't you come out and have some hay? Come have some hay. You gonna come? Come on, honey. Come on. You can fit through there. Come on. Am I being silly? You silly goose. She thought she couldn't make it through there, but she could. But she just didn't want to. You go find some hay? She's fine. This desperately needs to get cleaned out, and I need to buy some more straw. Also, to be noted is that the weaning process has begun. She doesn't want all of her milk anymore. It's part of why I think I felt a little bit worried, because I saw her just like passed out, laying there, just kind of seeming really dozy, and I'm like, did she eat too much grain? Did she get too much alfalfa? Did she drink too much milk too fast? Like, horses are always trying to scare us desperately. So I think she's fine. Look at this. Large, medium, small. This is gonna seem like such a strange switch to many of you. Why on earth am I showing you a disaster of a house? But unfortunately, I seem to get the odd few comments of like, I don't know, where I guess maybe it feels like people don't really understand my whole life, which I don't owe it to anybody to share my whole entire life with people. But many of you were like, oh my goodness, I was really worried about you. It had been like 8 days since I had posted a video, and people sounded like they were genuinely concerned, like, hey, what happened? Where'd you go? Because that is not my normal schedule. I am usually posting a fair amount of videos and updates as things happen, which it is the goal, but unfortunately, the last 8 days, it was just really challenging for a variety of reasons that at this point I don't really feel like getting into. But what I do feel like sharing with you is the fact that my life is real. I am not some rich person who has a nanny for my kids so I can go and do YouTube stuff. I don't have somebody coming to clean my home, cook my meals. It's on me. I do the laundry, I do the cooking, I do the cleaning, I do the dishes. I take care of my children myself. I am homeschooling my kindergartner, and it is on me. So I am wearing and juggling many different hats and plates, however you want to say it. And I just wanted to share a little piece of my life with you, that my house gets messy, it gets overwhelming. I get completely exhausted where I want nothing more than just to sit on my butt on the couch and enjoy my coffee while it's still hot. But I am a mom with little kids. Another piece of information that many of you guys don't know, because I don't really share my kids on here, is that I actually have 3 kiddos, not just 2. I have 3 kids that are ages 5 and under, so my day-to-day is incredibly busy, as some of you can imagine. And so if I ever fall off the face of the YouTube earth, it's because my family comes first and I just don't have time to juggle it all. I am so appreciative of all the people that did check in and were like, hey, are you okay? The people that genuinely care. This is not like a, don't do that, I don't like it. I really appreciate that, and that you guys care enough to check in. But at the same time, please don't be super concerned if occasionally I fall off the face of the earth, just because the girls sometimes stuff happens in life, and I just don't have the time to. I am not letting them free range anymore because they are edit videos very, very far away, often as I would like to. And I'm nervous they're going to get into trouble and get injured. So I am. This is, as I said, they get to exist now until maybe next summer, if I'm feeling really nice. So we got some serious rain last night. Some pretty good puddles. Are you enjoying the sloppy mess? Ugh, nasty. Yeah. Beautiful. Soggy. What are you doing trying to eat the food on the other side of the fence? You're stepping on all the goodies. This is where it's challenging, is when it rains and then the ground is wet. And it's just challenging to feed them. Hey? Also, might look like she's drying off, but I actually have a secret to tell you, and it has to do with this small full right there. And that's what the secret is. Breeze is occasionally letting her nurse. So apparently our orphan ladybug is no longer an orphan. Silly Breeze. So ridiculous. So, as you enjoy Ladybug just nursing away, Charlie, this is 2 days past his kind of mild colic episode, and he's doing just fine. He's totally bounced back, totally good, no residual effects other than just make sure that we're more careful with how we feed him. So, everything's good on the home front. I think she's just mad at the dog over there. Who is the cutest kitten? It's Tink. That's who. Hi, Tink. You're so sweet. Aw. You having a good day? You like the sunshine? Yeah. Oh, you got my fingers. Ah. It's Petey! You guys, so funny. Petey! You can get your sister. Yeah, that's not food for you. Your food's in the shed. Yeah. You're funny.